The moment I met Dipper, I knew he was going to be different. I had always been around birds growing up, but this tiny feathery creature had a personality that was way bigger than his size. He wasn't just a pet. He was a full-fledged character in my life story. And let me tell you, life with Dipper is never boring. It started the day I brought him home. Most birds take a while to adjust, to feel safe, to trust their new human. I was prepared for that. I had read all the articles, watched all the videos, done my research. But Dipper? He didn't need time. The second he was in his cage, he was hopping around, playing, eating, drinking, like he'd been living there for years. No hesitation, no nerves, just full confidence. "This is my home now," he seemed to say. And just like that, he had claimed his throne. Dipper isn't like most linnies. People say they're soft-spoken, calm, reserved birds. Dipper? Not so much. He's loud, demanding, and completely fearless. If I leave the room, he calls for me like an overly attached best friend. If I'm watching something on my phone, he'll sit right there and stare at the screen like he's judging my taste in videos. He doesn't just exist in my home. He owns it. There are days when I just want a little space, like when I'm trying to go to the bathroom in peace. But no, Dipper insists on following me, perching somewhere nearby and giving me that look. That, "Why are you trying to have alone time without me look?" And it's impossible to ignore because he'll just keep staring. It's like living with a feathery, slightly clingy toddler who refuses to take a hint. He's more like a cat than a bird. He lounges around, observing, chilling, until he decides it's time for attention. I'll tell him, "Go play with the neighborhood kids." As if that's something he understands. But no, he'd rather explore for a little bit and then return to his rightful place, on my shoulder. One of my biggest concerns when I first got him was making sure the house was safe. Birds, especially linnies, can be tiny daredevils, and Dipper is no exception. He loves walking on the floor, which means I have to constantly check where I step. And he loves to burrow, which means before I sit down anywhere, whether it's the couch, my bed, or even a pile of blankets, I have to make sure he isn't hiding inside. It's like having a living, breathing game of hide and seek happening at all times. And then there's his voice. He never stops chattering, ever. If he's awake, he's talking. It's not just random chirps either. It's a full-on conversation, whether or not I understand him. If I leave the room, he makes sure I know he disapproves. If I ignore him, he gets louder. But honestly, it's one of my favorite things about him. His energy, his enthusiasm, it's contagious. No matter how stressful my day has been, hearing him happily rambling about whatever is on his little bird mind always makes me smile. The best part? Seeing how much personality can fit into such a tiny creature. He's the size of a dinner roll, yet he runs my entire household. He's stubborn, he's loving, he's mischievous, and I wouldn't have him any other way. Every pet has a story, and every bond between human and animal is unique. If you've ever thought about getting a bird, adopting a rescue, or even just supporting local animal shelters, I can tell you, it makes a difference. These little creatures have so much love to give, and in return, they change our lives in ways we never expect. So here's to the Dippers of the world, the tiny birds with huge personalities, the ones who demand attention, follow us around, and remind us that love can come in the smallest, fluffiest packages.